Jamie Thompson, a young and adventurous travel blogger, had always been drawn to the allure of forgotten places. So, when she discovered Rivertown, a once thriving city now abandoned and hidden deep in the Appalachian Mountains, she knew she had to see it for herself. Rumors of Rivertown's sudden disappearance from maps and history books intrigued her, and the idea of uncovering its mysteries was too tempting to resist. The drive to Rivertown was grueling, the roads narrow and winding. By the time Jamie arrived, dusk was settling, painting the sky in deep purples and reds. The city loomed ahead, a silhouette of crumbling buildings and deserted streets. Jamie took a deep breath and pressed record on her camera, capturing the eerie beauty of her surroundings as she wandered through the desolate streets. Jamie couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The air was thick with an unsettling stillness, and shadows seemed to dance just out of the corner of her vision. She told herself it was just her imagination. After all, it was a ghost town. Night fell quickly, and Jamie set up camp in what seemed to be an old hotel lobby. She made a simple dinner of canned beans and a sandwich, all while keeping her camera rolling. The soft hum of her flashlight was the only sound breaking the silence. She felt a shiver run down her spine as a cold draft swept through the lobby, though the windows were all sealed tight. Around midnight, Jamie heard a noise from the hallway, a faint but distinct sound of footsteps. Her heart raced as she grabbed her flashlight and crept towards the sound. The hallway stretched out like a dark tunnel, the beam of her light revealing faded wallpaper and broken furniture. Suddenly, a door creaked open at the far end. Jamie hesitated but pushed forward, her curiosity getting the better of her. She entered a room that looked like it had been frozen in time, an old-fashioned bedroom with a bed neatly made and a portrait hanging crookedly on the wall. The portrait was of a woman with an unsettlingly intense gaze, her eyes seeming to follow Jamie's every move. Jamie was about to turn away when she noticed something strange. The painting was moving. The woman's eyes blinked, and her mouth twisted into a subtle, mocking smile. Jamie stumbled back, her heart pounding. The temperature in the room plummeted, and her breath fogged up the air. The portrait seemed to come alive, the woman's face contorting in silent screams. Jamie raced back to the lobby, her mind racing. She decided to leave the town immediately, but as she reached the exit, the front door slammed shut with a thunderous bang. Panic set in as she realized she was trapped. The once abandoned city seemed to close in on her, and whispers began to echo through the hallways. Indistinguishable words carried by an invisible wind. Desperate, Jamie searched for another way out. Her flashlight flickered and then died, leaving her in complete darkness. She fumbled with her phone, using its weak light to navigate through the winding, labyrinthine streets of Rivertown. The whispers grew louder, forming a chorus of ghostly voices. They seemed to be guiding her, but in a way that was both maddening and sinister. She stumbled into a large, open square. At its center stood a grand, old fountain, its water long dried up. The whispers turned into disembodied laughter, and Jamie saw ghostly figures emerging from the shadows. They were the townsfolk, dressed in outdated clothes, their faces frozen in expressions of agony and despair. One figure, a man with a tattered suit and wild eyes, approached Jamie. "You shouldn't be here," he rasped, his voice carrying a mournful tone. "We are trapped here forever, and now you are too." Before Jamie could react, the man vanished, and the ground beneath her trembled. The once still fountain began to flow with dark, murky water, and the ghosts began to converge on her. She darted away, narrowly avoiding their grasp. In a final, desperate move, Jamie made her way to the old city hall, which she had passed earlier. She remembered seeing an old map on its wall that might provide some clue about how to escape. Inside, the building was eerily lit by flickering lanterns. The map, though ancient and worn, showed a hidden passage beneath the city. Jamie followed the map's instructions, discovering a trapdoor in the basement of City Hall. With a heave, she managed to pry it open, revealing a dark tunnel. She crawled through, the air growing cooler and the whispering voices fading away. After what felt like hours, she emerged on the other side, back in the mountain forest, with the first light of dawn breaking through the trees. Exhausted and shaken, Jamie stumbled to her car and drove away from Rivertown. She glanced back only once, and to her relief, the ghost city had vanished behind her, as if it had never existed. Back in civilization, Jamie's footage was both a chilling and mesmerizing record of her ordeal. Her video went viral, capturing the imaginations of millions. Yet, no matter how many times she replayed the footage, Jamie never quite understood what Rivertown was or why she had been trapped there. Some mysteries, she realized, were meant to remain unsolved, and as she drove away, Jamie couldn't shake the feeling that the whispers of Rivertown would follow her, lingering in the recesses of her mind, a haunting reminder of her brush with the supernatural.